Honorable Chairman. My name is Albert Baldeo. I've been a community activist and the first elected district leader in Richmond Hill. There are four of us now, including Dr. Jane and Richard David and some others not. And then in 2008, we almost won a state Senate seat. I give you that picture with over 17,000 votes to let you know that we do exist, that we have a firm basis in America, that we are not the unknown people or people, and most of those were Hindus that voted or worked together with us. There's something fundamentally wrong sitting here in this room, with all great respect to you. I see a lone person in yourself, and I compliment you for being perhaps a lone warrior in a storm. But deep down inside, I feel as if I'm in a different country, not America. And it's not a personal insult on you. But I do believe there is a disconnect between our elected officials. Perhaps that comes from the fact that we don't have anyone looking or sounding like us elected to federal, state, or city government. Politicians come every cycle to our community. They take thousands and millions of dollars from us, and they always kick the can down the road. And they hardly ever do anything for us. We are not asking for money, like $2 million, as I've heard before, or $20 million. We are just asking for a basic fundamental right, the right to celebrate our religious freedoms, the same rights that brought the pilgrims to America, the same rights that is enshrined in America, the same rights that has made this country great. And if Diwali is celebrated in the White House, and we've always criticized number 45, we don't even call his name, but he's leaps and bounds ahead of us in this basic endeavor of celebrating a most basic culture. Just 2 weeks ago, we celebrated International Language Day, which is supposed to preserve all the 600 languages across the world. And 43% of those languages, equal to all, are in danger of being wiped out. And you as an educator will appreciate this, that every day these Bengali languages and Urdu and all these other languages are being wiped out. And it's the same marginalization and apartheid system we face as Hindus in this country. And more particularly, not this country, sorry, but in New York City. And I'm here to argue with that. And there was another lawyer before me, Dr. Ravi Batra. If we have to go to federal court to ensure that that fundamental right is recognized, then we will do so. It is not for the want of trying. In 2008, we helped Democrats, and I know this body is Democratic, to win the Democratic majority since 1965. And yet the majority of votes that helped us get there, the Hindus, have been stagnated. They have been deprived. And like I said, it's not for a handout, but it's for the basic right of religious freedom, where our kids can grow up feeling equal to everyone else. That is a fundamental promise of America. That is a fundamental hope that we all cherish. And yet this body is so deserted, and this bill has been done like as there's not even an intro. And the mayor himself, who has come to Richmond and has benefited his campaign, promises us, and yet he doesn't deliver. So we've got a problem here, Mr. Chairman. We've got to expedite this. We've got to give people due process. We've got to give them our equal rights. And if you're going to recognize Eid al-Azha and Eid al-Fitr and Lunar the New Year and the Rosh Hashanah, we have no problems with that. God bless that. That's our brothers and sisters. We're not asking to take holidays or vacations from anyone else. We're just asking for ours as of right as taxpayers, not as beggars, not as non-Americans, not as Guyanese. We gave up Guyanese citizenship to embrace this country. We can no longer go back to Guyana and say, hey, give me some of that oil, we're Guyanese. The first thing they tell us is, no, you're American. Join the line. So, well, what are we? Pillar to post? We don't belong? Is that what's going on here? Is this apartheid? This is New York City. This is a land of immigrants. This is a nation of immigrants. So if you have to do the intro and get it done, I want to compliment you. Don't get me wrong. You've been doing a fantastic job. But to kick the can down the road or to hold empty promises to us, I believe is wrong. I believe that potent action needs to be taken, and taken now, because we've earned it, and it needs to be done as quickly as possible. And like Dr. Jane said, 60% of those holidays, we're almost there. We just asked for like half when you look at it. And hence, we have to fight for redistricting, we have to fight for voting rights, we have to fight for every pinnacle of recognition. And that's not America. That's not New York City. And I'm certainly telling you that this is not what we're going to take. If you can come to Diwali next week, it's a beautiful parade. It's the same people you will see. You will see millions. But last person I took to that parade, city level official, they were amazed. And then they went back and said, we've got to keep these people out. Don't let them get in because there's plenty of them. Please, that's not America. We need to get a proper seat at the table. And please ensure that happens by forwarding this bill up to the mayor and have such a tremendous override majority that he cannot veto it. And don't worry with the state. You know the state and the city don't get along. So don't let's tie bundle with them. We can take care of our children daycare. Let's do this first. No money, holiday, or school recognition, Diwali, like tomorrow. I'm sure if you had the pen, you would have signed it by proclamation. We can't expect number 45 to do that. He'll be holding Diwali there at the right time. And as I look above you, every time you come into this chamber, please look at what Lincoln said there. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people can never stand. And we come here to you to make sure that we can get that fundamental right. Thank you, sir. And please push this bill to the recognition so we can get it passed.
Yeah, so very powerful testimony, and I think we are in agreement on that this should be a school holiday. Just to clarify again, the reason why Councilmember Drum introduced a resolution and not an introduction is because we don't have the legal authority in this body to push a law on this issue. That is because, and by the way, just for the public to know, I was the only member of the City Council to testify to Albany to give the City Council power in the school system. We have a system, yeah, I was the only one. So, because right now we have a full mayoral control system. The City Council does not control the school system, but I do have the power of oversight. This is an oversight hearing. I have the power to ask questions and to try to elevate issues. So that's why Councilmember Drum has been a champion on this issue, but he himself, and we don't have the legal authority to mandate this. However, what I do have the ability to do is to articulate the truth and to elevate the conversation. If the mayor or the mayor and the chancellor have the power to do this tomorrow, just to be clear, the mayor and the chancellor have the power to do this tomorrow. What they have to resolve, and I'm giving you the lay of the land, is that New York, we are a creature of the state. Cities, whether it's New York City, whether it's Rockland or other, we are creatures of New York State. New York State law mandates that we provide 180 days of full instruction of school days. So the way, when they create the school calendar, they make sure that they factor in 180 days of school days, and then they factor in some of the holidays which are off, and they factor in snow days. Because, for example, if there's a snowstorm, the mayor has the power to close schools, and they don't take from the 180, they add. So they have the power. When I say work with the state, they have the power to tell Albany, maybe we don't need 6 or 7 snow days this year, right? I'm not even sure how many snow days they factored in this current.
Yeah, we had 0 anyways.
Right. So, for example, they can go to Albany and say, we don't need 6, 7 snow days this year.
Climate change.
Maybe we could use 4 or 5 and use one of those days to make Diwali an official holiday. Indeed. That's what I mean. They could solve this issue in 2 seconds.
Indeed.
It's not complicated. And they should have done this years ago, not wait now. I do have a quick question. When is Diwali?
It's in November.
It changes every year.
Yeah, but
it changes every year. It's always
around October, November.
October, November. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
This year it's November 14th.
Well, like they said, 60%.
Right.
You know, most of it is on
right.
the weekend.
So it's usually
40%.
Is it usually in November?
It's at the end of October and it runs up until November. Not up until, but it runs into November.
Okay, so but generally speaking, it's around the same time period every year.
Yes.
Late October, November. All right, so it's predictable. So this is not rocket science. No. They know how to do
Indeed.
this.
Yes.
That's my point.
Yes.
And I just wanted to clarify. I'm in support of it. We do have a supermajority, but it's not a legal bill because we don't have the power. Okay. I do want to have the power for us to do this. But I do think that it's important that we know all the facts. So when we advocate to the mayor, if the mayor says to the community or says to us, well, we have 180 days, we have to provide instruction. Yes, Mr. Mayor, we're not violating the law. How many snow days do you have factored in? Do you need all those snow days? Maybe you don't need 6 or 7. Maybe you need 4 or 5. There are ways of getting around it. So that's the point. But thank you, sir, for your testimony. I appreciate it. Yes, ma'am. You're next.